It's little uneven. One side is thin, one side is thicker.
Yeah. The curvature was very bad. Thank you.
I was just saying that I need something here for
Paper.
paper, but that paper it's actually it needs to be a little thicker because this thing is high, comes above. So if I put paper, it won't work. Or I need thick paper or something thick.
Welcome to my workshop. So this is my workshop. Here are some instruments I'm working on. Beautiful 5-string tambura and a male tambura. This is an old sitar, which actually I'm slowly breaking down for the spare parts. And an experimental throat with wooden. They want to put the wooden frets on it. Not wooden frets, but frets on a wooden top. But that's a project which is going to be a long time to get that done. Here I have all my tools and accessories and things. This is my tools. So from here I've got files and chisels, and here I've got pliers and screwdrivers and other things. Here I've got measuring things and hammers. So this is my small parts for sitar and other instruments. Like this one is for the eyes, for the taraf, ogen. This one is chicory sticks and other things to put on the sitar. Some swans. Here I've got some also small things for the top of the pegs, the ornamentation, and some of the taraf mongama. This is where you attach your strings to on a sitar. That kind of stuff. Yeah, and then here I've got some bridges. Here I have some bone things. Here I've got some these parts from a sitar and also from the tambura. And these are beautiful. Oh, let's have a look. This kind of stuff with the ara. I picked all these up in India a long time ago. This is a used one, very used. I started playing sitar with Jawari Bharatiya in '77, and that of course is the basis of understanding how the sound should be, and the importance of Jawari. This is of course a tambura, but on a sitar the Jawari is slightly different because it's a fretted system. Here you have a stable string height, and on the sitar that changes when you press the frets. So the string becomes slightly on a different position on the bridge. It's a little bit complicated to explain, but it's a slightly different process than this tempura. But the thing is, by playing the instruments, and I play, my main instrument since 1980 has been the tabla, so I understand the tabla a little bit as well, or quite a lot, and harmonium of course, and and sarangi, and other Indian instruments. They all have their own character, they all have their own flower, their own colours, of sound colours, and one has to understand what that actually means. The process of creating an acquired sound. It is an acquired sound because in the beginning, when you first hear these sounds, you think, "Oh my God, what's going on?" But the more you go into it, you understand how scientifically it works, and it works on vibrations, and it's all about vibrations basically. And the thing is, the main thing about tempura is the sound. This is so important, that the Jawari, that the bridge is in good condition, that it's correctly curved, and that it sits very nicely on the soundboard, the tabli. And the point is, the jivas, these little strings, pieces of cotton, are essential for the overtones. And let's just try this one. This is without the overtones, or without the string, without the jiva. This is called jiva. And when you put the jiva in, and you pull it back, you see the change comes when it starts to rattle a little bit, and it grazes the top of the bridge and therefore creates some overtones. And this is the basis behind the sound of the tempura. Now the tempura is a very backbone of Indian music. It's one of the main instruments that sets the basis where all instruments are tuned to. So the tuning of it has to be perfect, or as perfect as possible. You see, when your tuning is good, the instrument comes alive, and it comes alive in such a way that it creates what I call a cloud of sound. And it's in this cloud of sound Like you don't hear the plucking anymore of the string, but you hear the totality of the sound. And when you can hear that sound, that's almost a it is so inspiring, because with the overtones there's so many notes happening at the same time, and it kind of lifts and inspires. Well, this is the idea of the tempura. It lifts and inspires the musicians to play the music, and this is the essence of the Indian music. That opening to the inspiration, the divine inspiration, you can say, or the this is so important in the Indian music, because once that's established, you're able to connect with people. You can on a deeper level, and you can through the music, and it can initiate a sort of almost a communion into the wider universe, you can say. It takes people to all kinds of places. I have to say I've been to the end of the universe and back again, and in a way that's true. Time falls away, the dimensions fall away, and we end up in a space which is kind of beautiful and amazing, and it changes people. And it changed me to understand this process, and to be able to be a service to people, to attain this state through the use of Indian instruments and the Indian music. And it's a fascination for me, and it's become my life, basically. The thing is, when something is out of tune in Indian music, in a concert, if everybody's playing and something is out of tune, and they try to re-establish the tuning during the piece without stopping, and if that's not possible, then everything stops, and they retune the instrument until it's good, perfect, and acceptable for the musicians, and then the music continues. This is how important. Without the good sound and the inspiration, the feeling of that inspired feeling, it's difficult to take the music into a higher level. It becomes a disturbance there. Instead of an inspiration. In Indian music, the overtones are very, very important. So this is the thing. You go into the sound, you go into the harmonics, and scientifically, there's been many studies about vibration and the harmonics and the overtones and the different stages of it, etc., etc. That all comes back into understanding how to do the Jawari, and this is the difficulty. So I always start when I work at the basic, how the bridge is sitting on the tabli, the soundboard. It should fit well. The angle of the bridge has to be slightly rounded, and it has to be very smooth. And and then the tension of the strings should be correct, and you need to have a slight understanding.
Yeah.
So that made me suspicious, and then I saw that it was cracked all along here. So I simply it wasn't a major crack. It didn't go through, so it was still stable. I couldn't get any movement in it, but just to be sure, I glued it and I then gave it some colour so that it would be...
So how would you know that it didn't go through the crack?
Because there's no movement.
There was no movement.
And if you tap it, it's solid.
Okay.
Normally when you have a crack you can hear something is not quite right.
Yeah.
A little... just a little sound is coming with it.
I have faced that in fact myself. So and also this you did like here this was a problem because of the turf.
Yeah. So here we had some broken turf. The eyes were broken, so I took them out and replaced them, and added the turf mongam. Yeah, and yeah, that worked well, and the sound is good. You can check it.
Yeah, I'll just
and as we decided not to do these two.
Yeah, because these are not going. The same thing is not going to happen here, right? Like it's
well, I hope not. But
I think it was only some places.
Well, the thing is, it's according to the grain. When it goes into the when they break, the string goes into the grain. And it can work its way easily into the body. It can work its way down. So that's not preferable, of course.
No.
And but here it's cross. I started doing Jawari and the repairs of Indian music instruments around 1978, 79, something like that. And I was a sitar student of Jamaluddin Bharatiya in Amsterdam, and in those times, and he had a problem with his sitar, and I had some knowledge picked up from a friend of mine about how the Jawari is working and the principles behind it, and well, I applied that, and it worked, and it was very surprising to me in the first place. And then he was very happy and invited all his students to come to me. And I thought to myself, well, this is nice because, you know, I seem to be able to do it, and I have some understanding or some feeling for it, and it seems to work. So I continued from there. And slowly, you fall down and you stand up again and you do it again, and slowly you learn how to, you pick up the tricks of the trade, you can say. And it's a very delicate business, because you get into the overtones and the vibrations of the string, and so therefore you have to start to understand how the string vibrates, and how a sound is produced, and what is the requirements for the instruments, the sound requirements, and also the requirements of the clients, of course. So some prefer more what we call open sound, or a very closed sound. So but it's not so easy here in the West. Because firstly, the knowledge of the Indian instruments, of course, is in India, and we have a different approach here in the West. Because simply, I think the Westerners are, they want it perfect. Perfection is more important. How the instrument looks, of course, how it sounds, but. They're very critical about things, and in India they go purely for the sound. When the sound is good, then that's also the main thing. Well, yeah, it's because of wear and tear.
Yeah, it's almost 20 years old now. This guitar. It's not that old, but still it's been played a lot, and for me.
Do you do the fretting?
Yeah, I do it. Not always.
I'll teach you how to do it. I started to get a lot more international instruments coming in from different parts of Europe, and sending instruments to Ireland and to the States and to Germany, and that seems to be lovely, you know, to be able to still, there's very few people playing Indian music in Holland, but when you step outside of Holland, you know, then you on a wider scale of Europe and outside of Europe even, it gets very interesting, because the market is opening up for me in a way that I can start to sell instruments, and I do commissions on my website for people who are selling, and I try to help them out. So I have a page called Buying and Selling, where you can look at the instruments which are on the market, and also for repairs. I have regular customers from Germany and a lot of France and Belgium, and that's wonderful. Of course, Holland, and that's wonderful because my business is continuing and growing, and I'm able to continue my passion. So I have harmoniums, I have tablas, I do sitars and tampuras, sarod is coming up, all kinds of Indian instruments, and of course Afghani instruments, the rabab, and some other instruments come my way occasionally. I also fascinated about the history of the instruments and the design of the instruments, and I'm building up quite a knowledge. On my website I have quite a lot of articles which I've written about the different instruments, the music, the playing positions, manuals, and scientific, not really scientific, but pseudo scientific things, like for the layman, as I am myself, to be able to understand about acoustics, to understand about how the requirements and that kind of stuff. So it's very interesting, and so please have a look at it. That is just toslevy.nl, and then you will find quite an extensive website with all kinds of subjects that may interest you.